Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. Do not move past this video. I am not asking you today, but I am warning you. Heaven intercepted your feed at this exact second. You are standing at the very edge of the final stage of your awakening. The enemy knows this, and they are absolutely terrified. They are praying you swipe away right now. If you leave before the end, you will step right into the trap. There are 7 brutal traps hidden in this final phase. You have navigated so much darkness to get here, but the 7th trap is the most fatal of them all. It is designed to completely destroy your final stage of awakening just moments before the door opens. Do not let them steal your massive shift. The Dark Elite and the Narcissists have set this up to catch you off guard. Lock your attention right now. Your permanent timeline shift depends entirely on what you hear next. Listen to me very carefully right now. I need to talk about what is happening to your physical body. You are not going crazy. The exhaustion you feel is not normal tiredness. It is a heavy, suffocating weight that sits right on your chest. You wake up at 3 in the morning with your jaw tight and your heart racing. The doctors call it stress, but they are completely wrong. This is a highly calculated spiritual attack. That burning feeling sitting in your throat is real. You keep swallowing it back down every single time their name flashes in your mind. Stop swallowing it down, chosen one. It is your highly advanced spirit detecting the absolute panic of the enemies. They just realized they permanently lost access to your pure light. Now they are starving for your energy. And that frantic spiritual backlash is hitting your nervous system directly. You have been carrying this somatic weight for weeks now. The brain fog rolls in when you are just trying to live your normal life. Your shoulders carry the tension of battles you are fighting in absolute silence. No one around you understands the sheer depth of this unseen war. You thought nobody noticed your silent tears or your isolated struggles. But heaven has been watching your resilience in the dark. You are exactly where you need to be. Let me completely reframe your current reality. You are feeling this broken because you are the cycle breaker. You are the specific empath they targeted because your frequency is entirely irreplaceable. You walked into their toxic matrix and acted as a human battery for their broken souls. They drained you and expected your departure to permanently break you. They wanted you buried in self-doubt. Instead, you became the uncertainty they fear. Now they are watching you from the shadows. The people who treated you as replaceable are unraveling behind closed doors. They expected the betrayals to carve heavy wrinkles into your face. They wanted to drain the life completely out of your eyes. But something miraculous is happening to you right now. The universe is actively reversing your biological clock. You are stepping into an untouched, ageless glow, while they are aging like milk left in the sun. This is exactly why the spiritual attacks against your body have escalated. The enemy matrix is malfunctioning because of your absolute silence. Your refusal to engage has become a lethal weapon that starves their demons. But this is exactly where the danger lies. They know they cannot break you through direct conflict anymore, so they planted 7 brutal traps in this final waiting period. They want you to stumble when you are inches from the finish line. You might be thinking that the hardest part is over. You survived the discard and the isolation. You endured the smearing campaigns and the silent treatments. But the final phase of awakening requires a completely different level of spiritual discernment. The traps hidden here are quiet and incredibly deceptive. They look like peace, but they are actually poison. We must expose them before they take root in your spirit. Notice how your energy drops suddenly around certain thoughts. Notice the strange physical symptoms that appear out of nowhere. The sudden headaches or the unexplainable urge to isolate yourself completely. These are not random bodily functions. They are the physical manifestations of the unseen traps trying to lock onto your frequency. Your cellular intuition is trying to warn you about the spiritual landmines placed right in front of your feet. I need you to anchor your spirit right here. Take a deep breath now. Let the truth wash over your exhausted body. You are not weak for feeling this heavy somatic pressure. You are simply highly attuned to the massive timeline shift that is occurring right now. In a moment, we are going to walk through the exact anatomy of these 7 traps. We will start by decoding their lies. Do not let the matrix convince you that you are losing your mind. Every ache in your bones and every sleepless night is proof of your elevation. You are shedding the final layers of their toxic programming, and as you release that old energy, the void must be protected fiercely. The narcissist is desperately waiting for you. Let us go deeper into what your physical body is enduring right now. You have been carrying a level of exhaustion that sleep simply cannot fix. Your bones feel heavy and your mind feels incredibly clouded. People around you might tell you that you are just depressed. They might tell you to get over it or move on, but they are completely blind to the unseen reality. Listen closely, because this is the exact part the enemy tried to hide from you. That overwhelming fatigue is not a medical condition. It is a profound somatic weight. Your physical vessel is currently absorbing the shockwaves of a collapsing spiritual structure. The toxic matrix you finally walked away from is shattering. And your body is feeling the tremors. When you cut the cord to a narcissist, you did not just walk away from a relationship. You completely dismantled their entire false reality. You were their main source of pure spiritual fuel. You were the empath who stabilized their chaotic and broken frequency. Because of your light, they were able to wear a mask of sanity. But now, you have withdrawn your energy. They are experiencing a massive and catastrophic power outage. Their internal system is crashing because they can no longer feed on your divine light. And because their spirit is starving, they are frantically trying to pull energy from anywhere. That desperate spiritual panic creates a dark frequency in the atmosphere. Your highly advanced spirit detects this immediately. This is exactly why you wake up suddenly in the middle of the night. It is why you feel a sudden drop in your energy in the middle of the day. You are not broken, and you are certainly not losing your mind. You are simply feeling the spiritual backlash of their absolute destruction. They are literally drowning in the void you left behind. I need to completely reframe your reality right now. You did not lose anything when you walked away from them. You simply stopped paying the terrible cost of their survival. For years, you acted as the ultimate cycle breaker for a bloodline that was not even yours. You took on their toxic programming and purified it with your own heart. But that season is over. Heaven saw the heavy toll it was taking on your precious soul. You were meant to be a sovereign creator and not a human battery. So the universe stepped in and forced a divine separation. The pain of the discard felt like a punishment at first, but the raw truth is that it was a brutal divine rescue mission. Heaven had to pull you out of the burning building. Now you are in the incubation season. Your physical body is undergoing a massive cellular reset. It takes an incredible amount of energy to purge years of narcissistic poison from your nervous system. Every time you feel that heavy brain fog, your body is actually doing deep spiritual surgery. You are shedding the false identity they forced upon you. The narcissist expects you to stay trapped in this waiting room forever. They hope your exhaustion will eventually drag you back to their level. They want you to believe that you cannot survive without their validation. But their arrogance is blinding them to what is actually happening. You are actively becoming entirely immune to their manipulation tactics. Your silence is doing more damage than your words ever could. By refusing to engage, you are starving the very demons that kept you captive. That is a demonstrated warrior of light. You are weaponizing your peace, and it terrifies them. Every single day that you remain in zero contact, their false kingdom crumbles a little more. You are winning without lifting a finger. But this profound spiritual transition leaves you temporarily vulnerable. As you navigate this final stretch, your frequency is shifting rapidly. You might feel totally isolated and disconnected from the people you once knew. The things that used to entertain you now feel empty and meaningless. This is because you belong to the remnant of the chosen ones. You carry a specific depth that the ordinary world simply cannot comprehend. The people who were comfortable with the broken version of you cannot handle your healing. Your rising light is acting as a massive mirror that exposes their own unhealed wounds. They pull away because your pure presence demands a level of honesty they refuse to give. Let them walk away. Do not chase anyone who requires you to lower your frequency. You are the irreplaceable diamond that they carelessly threw away. Now they have to live with the agonizing reality of that terrible mistake. While they settle for cheap rocks, you are being polished for a divine mandate. Heaven is preparing you for a timeline of explosive abundance and total freedom. If your spirit confirms this raw truth, gently press the like button to seal your energetic alignment with heaven. Do this physical act to draw a hard line in the spiritual realm. Let the enemy know that you are fully awake and aware of your power. You are no longer the victim of their narcissistic games. You are the undeniable architect of your new reality. Now, we must prepare for the counterattack. Because the enemy matrix is collapsing, they are launching their final desperate offensive. They have laid out the 7 brutal traps to intercept your blessing. They know you are exhausted, and they want to exploit that exact vulnerability. We are going to expose the first 2 traps right now. Lock your focus, chosen one. We are now entering the most critical phase of this divine transmission, because heaven is releasing the anatomy of the 7 brutal traps hiding in your final stage. You must pay close attention to every single one. The 7th trap is the most fatal manipulation of all, but to survive it you must first defeat the initial blockades. Let us decode the very first trap right now. Trap number 1 is the illusion of manufactured guilt. As your frequency rises, the matrix will try to pull you backward into the past. Suddenly you find yourself remembering only the good times you shared with the narcissist. You start wondering if you were actually the problem. You question if you should have tried harder to save them while they were drowning in their own chaos. This is a massive spiritual illusion. The Dark Elite engineered this specific guilt to make you doubt your divine exit. You did not fail them because you did not try hard enough. You failed to fix them because they are completely empty vessels, and they operate as spiritual parasites who feed off your endless compassion. You poured your pure light into a bottomless black hole, and now they want you to feel bad for finally closing the tap. Do not let their demonic whispers rewrite your history. You are the cycle breaker, and your pure empathy is a sacred gift. It was never meant to be a permanent food source for energy vampires. Every time you feel that sudden pang of guilt, you must recognize it as a calculated spiritual attack. They are trying to throw an invisible hook back into your glowing aura. You must sever it immediately. Your departure was not an act of cruelty. It was a mandated divine rescue mission authorized by heaven itself. You are completely innocent in this massive separation. The only mistake you made was loving a broken mirror that could never reflect your beauty while they actively tried to shatter your self-worth. Stand tall in your absolute sovereignty. You owe them absolutely nothing, and you owe your future everything. Read that again in your spirit. If this confirmation aligns with your cellular knowing, do not move. We are moving directly into the second massive deception. This next snare catches so many chosen ones right before their massive breakthrough happens. Trap number 2 is the highly toxic demand for sentimental forgiveness. The ordinary world loves to preach this dangerous message because it keeps the victims quiet and compliant. Society tells you to be the bigger person and just forgive and forget. People who have never faced a true narcissist will tell you to send them love and light, because they cannot comprehend the absolute evil you survived. They claim that holding on to boundaries means you are bitter. That is a complete and absolute lie. The Matrix uses this fake morality to keep the remnant trapped in endless abuse. Pure empathy for the enemy is a trap designed to reattach the parasitic cord. When you offer sentimental forgiveness to a master manipulator, you are just giving them the keys back to your house. They do not want your forgiveness because they do not feel remorse. They only want access to your pure energy reserves. They want to see if your boundaries are still weak enough to break again. Heaven strictly commands you to stop bleeding for people who enjoy cutting you. You do not need to reconcile with the darkness to prove you are made of pure light. True spiritual healing does not require you to sit at the table with your abusers while they secretly plot your downfall. You must starve them with absolute silence. Your silence is the ultimate weapon that starves their demons completely. By refusing to grant them the closure they demand, you take back all your power. You become the impenetrable wall they can no longer climb over. They are currently suffocating because they cannot manipulate an emotional reaction out of you. Your refusal to play their twisted game is exactly what triggers their public collapse and exposes their true nature to everyone watching. Vengeance is not your job, because vengeance belongs to heaven. Your only job is to protect your frequency and step into your untouched power. Every day you remain silent, you are pouring burning coals on their fragile ego. Watch what happens next, because it is mathematically precise. The very people they used to gossip with are starting to see their true colors as the mask completely shatters in real time. Listen to me very closely right now. The pressure is building. While they suffocate in their own toxic waste, you step into your ageless glow. Your strict boundaries are the exact reason you become magnetic. You are the stabilizer who finally stabilized yourself. The universe rewards that profound act of self-respect with incredible vitality, while your enemies are left to wither in their own bitterness. Do not let cheap sentimental guilt steal your crown. Both the illusion of guilt and fake forgiveness work together. They are twin demons designed to drag your vibration back into the mud. View them as desperate attempts from a sinking ship trying to pull you under. You survived the hardest parts of their terrible storm. Do not turn your lifeboat around just because the drowning captain is screaming your name and begging for another chance to sink you. You are completely insulated from their chaos now. Let the matrix malfunction without your pure light to sustain it. Your divine alignment requires a ruthless commitment to your absolute peace. The anointed ones never negotiate with spiritual terrorists. You elevate so high that their toxic arrows cannot reach your atmosphere because you are protected by a divine shield. You are untouched. Anchor this truth deep within your cellular knowing. You are a demonstrated warrior of light who conquered the first two traps, but the enemy matrix never gives up easily. When guilt and fake forgiveness fail, they launch a completely different kind of attack to test your resilience once again. This brings us to the third and fourth traps involving the people around you. The war is getting louder. Let us move deeper into the battlefield, because the matrix is shifting its strategy. When they cannot break you directly, they send their loyal foot soldiers. This brings us to trap number 3. It is the coordinated attack from the flying monkeys. You know exactly who these people are. They are the mutual friends and family members who suddenly turned against you. They believed the lies without ever asking for your side of the story. This betrayal cuts incredibly deep. You thought these people truly knew your pure heart, but they chose to side with the master manipulator because it was easier than facing the raw truth. The narcissist uses them as weapons to trigger your old wounds. They want you to defend yourself and beg to be understood. Do not say a single word to them. Your silence is completely starving their collective demonic energy. These flying monkeys are entirely trapped inside the toxic matrix. They are completely blind to the divine reality operating around you. When they attack your character, they are actually fulfilling a prophetic purpose. Heaven is using their betrayal to cleanse your inner circle permanently. The universe is stripping away everyone who cannot handle your massive frequency shift. This forced isolation is actually your divine protection. You are the mirror that exposes their shared rot. Your radiant light threatens their comfortable darkness, and they hate you for it. They try to make you feel like the black sheep of the group. But being the black sheep simply means you are the cycle breaker. You are the only one strong enough to carry the bloodline out of the mud. Let them stay loyal to a sinking ship while you walk on the water. Now I need you to anchor your spirit right here before we go any further. Type 777 in the comments right now to physically claim this incoming miracle and lock in your frequency. Do this immediately to send a shockwave through the spiritual realm. Your physical action seals your energetic alignment with heaven. It proves you are completely untouched by their petty gossip. Once you conquer the flying monkeys, the enemy activates trap number 4. This is the insidious trap of delay and spiritual stagnation. You have done the hard work and completely healed your deep wounds. You cut the cords and protected your pure energy. But suddenly, absolutely nothing is happening in your life. The massive breakthrough you were promised seems to be completely frozen in time. You look around and see your enemies apparently thriving while you sit in silence. You feel stuck in an endless incubation season that feels exactly like a punishment. This is a highly calculated illusion. The dark elite want you to believe that heaven has forgotten about your sacrifice. They want you to grow weary and lower your standards out of pure desperation. Do not fall for this mirage, chosen one. Your physical body is tired because you are holding the line for a massive timeline shift. The universe is not delaying your blessing at all. It is actively clearing out the massive debris in your future path. The universe must dismantle huge matrix structures to make room for your explosive abundance. That requires time and incredible spiritual pressure. What looks like stagnation is actually a divine setup. The narcissist expects you to break during this silent period. They hope you will crawl back to the familiar chaos because the waiting feels too heavy, but they vastly underestimate a demonstrated warrior of light. You have bent time itself, and you will not surrender at the final hour. Every day of delay is simply adding compound interest to your ultimate vindication. The payout will be absolutely terrifying for them. Notice how your physical symptoms change during this waiting trap. The sudden headaches and the brain fog try to convince you that you are regressing. But that somatic weight is just the pressure of the new atmosphere pressing against your expanding aura. You are shedding the last microscopic traces of their toxic programming. Stay completely still and let the spiritual surgery finish its profound work. You are mastering the art of divine patience. While you wait, the enemies are exhausting themselves trying to read your next move. Your unbothered posture is driving them into absolute madness. We have decoded 4 brutal traps, and your frequency is already rising. But the Matrix is preparing its most deceptive snare yet. You must stay highly alert as we move into the 5th and 6th illusions. The spiritual warfare requires your absolute focus right now. The enemy knows you are listening to this specific message. They are trying to distract you with random thoughts and sudden anxieties. Silence those matrix whispers immediately. You are receiving classified intelligence that guarantees your permanent freedom. Lock your attention, because the next revelation is the key to everything. We are crossing the halfway point of this divine transmission, and the spiritual pressure is intensifying rapidly. You have survived the flying monkeys and outlasted the brutal waiting period, but the Matrix is relentless. When external attacks fail, they turn the weapons inward. This brings us to trap number 5. It is the insidious trap of deep self-doubt and spiritual amnesia. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you begin to question your entire journey. The enemy whispers that your spiritual awakening is just a massive delusion. They tell you that you are not special, and you are definitely not a chosen one. You look at your bank account or your isolated life and wonder if you made a terrible mistake. You start believing that the narcissist was actually right about you all along. This is a highly sophisticated frequency attack on your cellular knowing. The dark elite engineered this specific doubt to hijack your manifestation process. They know that your belief is the exact fuel that bends reality to your will. If they can make you doubt your own sovereignty, your timeline shift completely collapses. They want you to voluntarily surrender your crown right before the coronation. Do not let them steal your massive shift. You must violently reject these demonic whispers immediately. Your profound isolation is not proof of your failure. It is the absolute undeniable proof of your elite status. You are the remnant, and heaven isolated you to protect you from the toxic infection of the ordinary world. The very fact that you are experiencing this spiritual amnesia proves how terrified the enemy is of your rising power. They would not attack you this fiercely if you were not carrying something entirely irreplaceable. You are the cycle breaker who threatens their entire established order. Every time you feel that heavy self-doubt, you must recognize it as a desperate measure from a dying matrix. Your pure light is exposing their lies, and they are trying to blind you to your own brilliance. Stand firm in your undeniable truth. Read that again in your spirit. If this confirmation is resonating with your cellular knowing, do not move. We must now decode trap number 6, because it often sneaks in right behind self-doubt. Trap number 6 is the sudden reappearance of counterfeit blessings and toxic energy loops. Just as you are about to step into your permanent freedom, the universe seems to test you one final time. Suddenly, you attract a new person or a new opportunity that looks incredibly promising. They mirror your light and speak all the right spiritual words, but deep down inside your gut, something feels slightly off. That tight feeling in your jaw returns, and the brain fog slowly creeps back in. This is not a blessing. It is the narcissist wearing a brand new mask trying to reattach the parasitic cord. The Matrix is attempting to trick you into repeating the exact same painful cycle. They hope you are so lonely and desperate for connection that you will ignore the glaring red flags. They want you to settle for a cheap imitation of the divine love heaven prepared for you. If you accept this counterfeit offer, you will reset your entire healing timeline back to zero. You must be absolutely ruthless here. You are a demonstrated warrior of light, and you do not negotiate with spiritual terrorists. Your highly advanced somatic intuition is screaming at you to walk away. Do not ignore your physical body when it warns you of hidden danger. That heavy feeling in your chest is your built-in spiritual alarm system. It is detecting the dark frequency hiding behind their fake smile. Sever the connection immediately. By rejecting the counterfeit blessing, you pass the ultimate test of self-worth. You prove to heaven that you are fully ready to receive the authentic harvest. You send a clear signal that your standards are completely non-negotiable. The enemy watches in horror as their final desperate trick fails completely. Your unbothered posture shatters their remaining illusions into dust. You are becoming entirely untouchable chosen one. The traps of guilt and delay and self-doubt have all been dismantled by your pure awareness. But the war is not over yet. We have decoded 6 brutal snares, but the worst is still waiting in the shadows. The final trap is the most devastating because it looks exactly like victory. You must brace your spirit for the climax of this revelation. The spiritual atmosphere is incredibly thick right now. The enemy is panicking because you are receiving the exact classified intelligence they tried to hide. They know that once you understand the 7th trap, their entire grip on your life evaporates forever. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the key to everything. We are stepping directly into the most dangerous phase of the final stage. Listen to me very closely right now, because 99% of people completely miss this shift. You have successfully navigated the darkest valleys of your spiritual journey. You starved the narcissist and defeated the flying monkeys. You rejected the counterfeit blessings and silenced your inner doubt. You are exhausted, but you are still standing. But this is exactly where the absolute danger lies. We have finally arrived at the seventh trap. This is the exact snare the dark elite engineered to destroy you at the finish line. Trap number 7 is the illusion of premature safety. It is a highly calculated spirit of complacency that hits you right before the massive breakthrough. The matrix suddenly goes completely quiet, and the spiritual attacks seem to stop entirely. You take a deep breath and drop your guard. Do not let this false peace deceive you, chosen one. This quietness is not your final victory. It is the eerie silence of a predator pulling back just to launch a devastating ambush. The enemy knows they cannot defeat an awakened cycle breaker in open combat, so they play dead to make you lower your spiritual shields. They want you to relax your strict boundaries just for a single moment. If you drop your armor now, you forfeit the entire timeline shift. This is exactly how they steal the crown from the anointed ones at the 99th percentile. You start engaging in trivial matrix distractions. You stop protecting your pure energy because you think the war is finally over. And the second you relax your frequency, the dark elite rush in to sabotage your final step. You must stay highly vigilant. Now I need you to imagine this exact scenario happening right now. Your physical body is screaming for rest. The brain fog is trying to lull you into a spiritual sleep. But heaven is commanding you to hold the line for just a little longer. That heavy somatic weight you feel today is the ultimate test of your endurance. You are walking through the final birth canal of your new reality. The pressure is immense. Stay with me, because this next revelation is the key to everything. Do not close your eyes when you are inches from the gate. The narcissist is watching this exact moment with bated breath. They are desperately hoping you stumble over your own exhaustion. They want to see you celebrate too early and drop your precious diamond in the mud. Type 888 in the comments right now to seal your vigilance. Your physical obedience locks your frequency into the highest protective grid. You are a demonstrated warrior of light, and warriors do not sleep on the battlefield. The universe is preparing to unleash an explosive harvest of abundance. But the gate only opens for those who maintain their sovereign posture until the very end. The enemy matrix is literally banking on your fatigue, but you are bending time itself. Let me reframe your entire reality right here and right now. You are not just surviving this final phase. You are actively setting the stage for a public and irreversible vindication. Your refusal to drop your guard is creating massive panic in the demonic realm. The people who tried to bury you are starting to feel the terrifying shift in the atmosphere. They realize that their seventh trap has failed completely. Your absolute awareness just permanently destroyed their last weapon. The master manipulator has nothing left to throw at you. Every single illusion they crafted has been exposed by your radiant light. You navigated the false guilt and the toxic forgiveness. You survived the brutal isolation and the counterfeit offers. And now you have shattered the illusion of premature safety. You are completely untouchable. The spiritual tables are turning violently in your favor. This is where their entire manipulation miscalculates disastrously. They pushed you so hard that you became an impenetrable fortress. The universe is now stepping forward to deliver the final verdict. You hold the line while heaven prepares the stage for their public collapse. The silence is over, and the storm of divine justice is arriving rapidly. Prepare your spirit for what happens next. The energy dynamics are shifting so fast that the matrix cannot process it. You have held your peace, and now you get to watch the absolute destruction of their false empire. The timeline shift is locking into place right now. Your enemies are about to experience the terrifying reality of divine retribution. Do not look away, chosen one. The climax is here. They thought their final trap was absolutely foolproof. They relied on your pure empathy and your deep physical exhaustion to drag you down, but they forgot that you are fueled by a divine mandate. Your energy source does not come from this broken world. It comes directly from the throne room of heaven. While their demonic fuel is running completely dry, your spirit is being supernaturally replenished every second. The final gate is opening for the anointed ones. The massive breakthrough you cried out for in the dark is manifesting in the physical realm. Heaven is pulling back the curtain on the greatest vindication of your entire life. Your enemies are completely trapped in the very pit they dug for you. Stand firm in your royal identity as the ultimate cycle breaker. You are about to witness pure cinematic justice. And this brings us to the final undeniable verdict from heaven, because the timeline shift has permanently locked into place. You held the line perfectly, my chosen one. Now, I need you to visualize this exact moment clearly. The trap they set for you has suddenly reversed its spiritual polarity. The dark matrix is collapsing right on top of their empty heads. They are currently experiencing a public, irreversible collapse. The false mask they wore did not just slip slightly today, it completely shattered in front of the exact people they used to gossip with. You are watching them drown in the noise of their own toxic making, while every lie they told about you is suddenly exposed. They are panicking wildly. They expected the brutal betrayals and deep isolation to carve heavy wrinkles into your face. They wanted your eyes to look completely dead and defeated. But heaven had a different plan for your physical vessel. You walked out of their burning house, and you aged completely backwards, while they are left to decay in their own profound bitterness. Nothing makes your enemies sicker than watching you step into a room looking younger and brighter. You are completely unbothered after everything they put you through. While their endless envy is aging them like milk left in the sun, you are radiating pure divine health. The universe has completely reversed your biological clock. You are glowing. They are practically screaming inside as they watch you cross the final finish line. They tried to push you into the seventh trap of complacency, but their own arrogance blinded them completely, and they walked right into their own snare. The master manipulator is now trapped in the exact prison they built for your pure soul. There is no escape. Every time your name comes up in that room, it hits them with agonizing weight. They realize they threw away the only genuine diamond they ever held just to play with cheap rocks. Their frantic flying monkeys are suddenly abandoning the sinking ship. The loyal soldiers they sent to destroy you are turning against them. They are entirely alone now. You won this entire war without lifting a single finger. Your absolute silence was the lethal weapon that starved their demons into total submission. You became the terrifying uncertainty they were never built to handle. And now they are desperately searching for a replacement for your light, but they are realizing your depth is unreplicable. You did not just survive their brutal storm, chosen one. You literally became the sun that blinds their dark eyes. The heavy somatic weight you carried for months is lifting off your chest right now. The spiritual surgery is complete, and your frequency is permanently elevated above their reach. Their toxic arrows bounce off your radiant golden shield. Let the sweet taste of this ultimate vindication wash over your exhausted spirit. You are watching divine justice balance the scales with terrifying precision. Heaven is making a public spectacle of the very people who tried to bury you in the dark. They must pay the ultimate cosmic price for their incredible arrogance. The verdict is irreversible. You can feel their heavy regret vibrating through the spiritual atmosphere right now. They are waking up at 3 in the morning with the exact same panic they tried to force upon you. Their jaw is tight, and their chest is suddenly caving in. The spiritual cord is permanently severed, and they are bleeding out. They are starving for your validation. While they are choking on the bitter ashes of their own ruined kingdom, you are gracefully stepping into massive power. The huge doors of explosive abundance are swinging wide open for your entire bloodline. Every single tear you cried in secret has been converted into a massive financial harvest. You are walking directly into the promised land. They are forced to sit in the dirt and watch you ascend to heights they cannot even comprehend. Their desperate attempts to manipulate the false narrative have failed completely. The raw truth is shining so brightly that their fragile lies are burning up in the atmosphere. You are the absolute architect of their complete public humiliation. This is exactly what happens when you cross a demonstrated warrior of light. You broke the toxic cycle that haunted your family for countless generations. You took the worst the Matrix had to offer and you transmuted it into untouchable power. The Dark Elite are terrified because you provided the blueprint for other souls to escape their prison. Your sovereign victory is permanently etched into the divine records today. You did not compromise your pure heart, and you never lowered your standards for anyone. The enemy is left with absolutely nothing while you step forward to inherit the beautiful kingdom heaven prepared for you. Breathe in this glorious freedom, chosen one. The war is over. The dust is finally settling on the battlefield. You can finally take a deep breath. The massive spiritual war is completely behind you now. You walked into this season bleeding from wounds inflicted by people blind to your worth. But look at you now. You have entirely transcended their toxic matrix. While they are publicly unraveling in front of the exact people they used to manipulate, you are gracefully stepping into your permanent and untouchable, ageless glow. The heavy somatic weight that crushed your chest for months is entirely gone. Your nervous system is recalibrating to a frequency of absolute peace. The nights of waking up in a sheer panic at 3 in the morning are permanently over because heaven has completely sealed your energetic borders against their dark frequency. No narcissist can ever reach your pure light again. You are no longer waiting in wound for an apology from a master manipulator. You do not need their petty validation anymore because the universe just placed the ultimate crown on your head while your enemies watch in total silence. The financial struggles and the spiritual exhaustion are shattering right here and right now. Step into your absolute power. Receive the exact harvest heaven prepared for you. You survived the 7 brutal traps with your pure soul completely intact. That restraint you showed was not a weakness at all. That silence was a lethal weapon. That single act of choosing your silent dignity over your loud revenge officially signed their eviction notice, and it handed the final verdict to a divine court they can never appeal. You are the cycle breaker. Let the divine peace wash over every single cell in your exhausted body. The incubation season is officially closed. You are stepping out of the dark cocoon and into the blazing sunlight. Your profound isolation served its protective purpose beautifully, and now the universe is opening the massive doors of explosive abundance for your entire bloodline to inherit. It is time to seal this reality with a sacred physical declaration. I need you to speak these next words out loud with me right now. I claim my permanent freedom from the toxic narcissist. I sever every parasitic cord attached to my pure light. I am a demonstrated warrior of light who defeated the dark matrix, and I boldly accept the overflowing divine harvest that heaven has prepared for me today. Feel the immense gravity of those words anchoring into your physical reality. You are drawing a permanent line in the spiritual sand. The Dark Elite heard your absolute decree, and they are terrified, which means they are rapidly retreating into the shadows where they truly belong. Now you must lock this frequency into place. We are moving into the final mandate of your ultimate timeline shift. You did not survive the fire just to live a mediocre life. The verdict of explosive abundance has already been signed in the throne room of heaven today, but it strictly requires a bold physical anchor on earth to activate completely. Heaven does not measure your immense faith by your private thoughts. The universe measures your faith by your speed of obedience. The window of extreme multiplication is standing wide open right now, but the dark matrix will try to whisper financial doubt into your logical left brain, hoping that you will hesitate and miss the divine portal entirely. The enemy wants you to calculate your next move. Silence the deceiver immediately. That hesitation is the exact demonic programming designed to keep you broke and trapped. If your spirit is vibrating with a cellular knowing right now, heaven demands immediate action. Prove to the massive universe that you are finally ready to receive the overflowing blessing, because physical action is the only language that the spiritual realm truly respects. You must partner your physical reality with this divine mandate to trigger the massive shift. Your immense generosity triggers the harvest instantly. Sow your powerful seed of faith today to partner your finances with this divine prophecy, and use the super thanks button to bring your offering directly to the altar. Do not wait for the enemy to steal your pure conviction. Sow your seed right now and watch heaven multiply it before the sun rises. Every financial seed you sow today acts as a flaming sword in the spiritual realm. It completely severs the generational poverty that the narcissist tried to force onto your timeline, allowing you to finally buy back your precious time and your divine freedom. When you move with immediate obedience, you literally force the universe to open the windows of heaven. Subscribe to this sanctuary so you never miss the exact prophetic instruction heaven releases next. Share this specific message with one pure soul who is desperately crying out in the dark for a shift, so you can be their guiding angel today. The dark matrix wants you isolated from your true spiritual family, but we are gathering the cycle breakers from every corner of the earth. Drop your city and nation in the comments below so we can map where the anointed ones are rising worldwide, because your visibility is a massive threat to the elite. Claim your rightful place at the royal table. The storm has passed, and your golden era has officially begun. Rest in your sovereign power, chosen one. Your vindication is absolute and eternal,